Hello everyone, I'm Red Team Beaver and welcome back to day 2 of the Advent of Cyber 3 by TryHackMe. Today's challenge is about authentication bypass using cookies manipulation. And to be honest, cookies manipulation is a favorite of mine. I know I said that yesterday about IDOR as well, but honestly, all the web stuff is just something I nerd out about. So as we did yesterday, I will try to go over the theory first and then do the questions with you guys. So let's get started. First off, I will let you read about HTTP versus HTTPS because to me, it's not really relevant for the questions that we'll be doing. And instead, I will actually more focus on the cookies part of this whole theory section. So as you may or may not know, cookies are used to basically authenticate yourself to a web server because HTTP is stateless, which means that the server cannot distinguish your request from someone else's request, right? And they use cookies to identify you. So on the very, very high level, that's what a cookie is used. It's to identify you. So if we scroll down to cookie manipulation, well, let's say that, for example, I give you a little bit of paper, right? And that's your cookie. And on that paper, I write your name. Let's say your name is John. Well, I write John, but if you were to go to someone else and change the name that I gave you on your paper and switch it to Steve, well, this person would have no way of knowing that you are John and not Steve, right? So you could be passed as Steve and you could have Steve's privileges. Now, of course, there are ways to protect against that, but let's say in the most basic example, there are no protections and there are no methods to truly identify you other than the name written on your paper. Well, that's a bit how cookie manipulations work. If we can find a way to change our privileges, our name on our cookie, and the server doesn't check other kind of validations, or the cookie can be manipulated, well, you can go through and you can get higher privileges, and that's cookie manipulation. So as you may guess, we can use that to, let's say you are user, right? Your username is user and your privileges are user. What if you change your name to admin? Well, you could become admin as well. Let's switch to the practical part now. So with this in mind, we need to open the static website in a new tab, and this is the static website. All right, so it's cute. If we move our mouse, it seems to be doing, nope, it doesn't do anything. It's just already animated. So the first thing we want to do is look, do we already have a cookie? So let's go, I pressed F12, go into storage. And if you go to cookies, you see that currently we have nothing, right? So let's try to sign up. Let's call ourselves Red Team Beaver. My password will be password with a capital P because I'm very secure. And then do, I don't know, rtb@example.com. All right, so let's create an account. Let's not save. Oops, I saved it. Didn't mean to save it. So we don't have permission to register an account currently. Please contact an administrator for more assistance. However, we have a cookie, right? So let's go back to the questions. Let's get a little bit of zoom in. So let's complete this one because we opened it. So we registered an account, verified the cookie using developer tools, and what is the name of the new cookie? Well, we just found it right here, and it's user auth. So let's enter this and submit it. All right. What encoding was used for the cookie value? All right. So I didn't mention that previously, but basically how cookies work is cookie name and value afterwards. So let's grab the value of the cookie. And so if I just do a string, right? If I just show you, this is the cookie, right? And it may seem like gibberish at first, but whenever you'll get a bit more used to seeing encoding, you can realize that this is hexadecimal. And a way that you can guess that this is hexadecimal without knowing about it is using a very nice tool called CyberChef. CyberChef is such a strong tool, and that you can definitely get a lot of use out of it. So let's just input it here, and CyberChef is just has a little magic wand that will magically, with the magic of Christmas, show us that it's from X, right? As I said, it's hexadecimal. So this is decoding from X, and we see that the value of our cookie is basically this JSON string encoded into X, right? And if we read it a little bit, we see that there's a value for company, there's a value for is registered, sorry, and there's a value for username, which is the username we entered. So let's go back here, and if we can now enter this, because we know from here, oops, this one, we know from here that it's from X, but X is only the shorthand version of hexadecimal. So let's do hexadecimal. What object format is the data of the cookie stored in? Well, as I said before, this is JSON, and basically JSON is just these curly braces with a name value pair, basically. So we can now enter JSON. So manipulate the cookie and bypass the login portal. Value of the administrator cookie, username equals admin. All right, so as we saw before, and maybe you know this or maybe you don't, but encoding and decoding is basically way to show data. It's not encrypted, that's different. So we can basically just grab this. Let's open a new window of CyberChef. Let's input this here. And then instead of doing from X, let's do to X, right? And if we remove the space, you'll see that it's the same thing we had here, basically. So what if we change our username to admin, right? Well, it's going to change our hexadecimal string, hexadecimal encoded string, sorry. And if we go here, we can submit it. So all we did was change the username from whatever we add, which is Red Team Beaver, to admin, and then we re-encoded it to X, right? And sorry if I repeat myself, it's just sometimes people will understand after multiple tries, and that's a good way to learn. So let's go again. All right, so what team environment is not responding? Now we have no idea what to do with this, but you know, authentication bypass is basically, as I mentioned previously, if there's no check other than the cookie, well, what we did right now is what John and Steve did. So John had his little piece of paper that had his name on it, John, and then he wrote Steve on it. Well, we had our little piece of paper where Red Team Beaver was written, but we wrote admin instead, right? So let's just grab this. This is our piece of paper. And what we can do is let's just switch the value. So what it is, I double clicked and I just pasted the value of the admin cookie. And I'll just, can I just do this? I don't want to register again. So just like that, as you see, we are now logged in. There was we don't need to enter credentials. We don't need to do some 2FA because there's no 2FA anyway. But basically we didn't need to enter credentials because the cookie value is what is granted to you, to your browser, after you enter the credentials. So basically what we did is authentication bypass. We didn't have to authenticate. We're just admin right now. So what team environment is not responding? Well, it seems to be the little red icon. I'm not sure if there's a legend somewhere. Doesn't seem like it. So I guess it's HR. So let's do HR. What team environment has network warning? That's going to be the yellow, which is application. And finance is doing just well. So just like that, we completed day 2 of the Advent of Cyber. As always, there is another room that you can go and do. I am still not premium, but if you're interested in this authentication bypass technique, there's a lot more ways to do it other than just cookie manipulation. There's actually a lot of ways to do authentication bypass, but I won't spoil it to you, and I will invite you to go to the this link right here. So let's just complete that. And finally, the final task, they're like, yep, you can do more tomorrow, which we'll do in a video again. As always, thank you guys so much for watching this video. This was a quick one. Again, this is the point of these little Advent of Cyber 3 series. So basically, I would like to thank you for sticking with me once more. Come back tomorrow for day 3, and then the day after for day 4, the day after for day 5. We'll do all of them, hopefully, if I'm good with my schedule. So as always, thank you for watching. If I bring you value, consider subscribing to the channel. It does help me a lot. And if you want to support me, their links are in the description below. Thank you guys for watching, and see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.